everyone, today I have 3 easy dinner ideas for Meatless Monday. I know a lot of people set a New Year's resolution to reduce their meat consumption, which I think is awesome for the animals, for the environment, for your health. So I wanted to present some recipes to make veggies more appealing, not only for my fellow vegans, but also for those of you who might be newer to plant-based eating. So let's get started. For meal number 1, we've got some sloppy joes. For produce, you'll need some diced onion, chopped green bell pepper, and your classic sloppy joe recipes usually call for ketchup, but instead we're going to be using some tomato paste, some diced tomatoes, a little bit of coconut sugar, chili powder, cumin, garlic powder, Worcestershire sauce, and in place of ground beef I have some lentils that I pre-cooked in water. I also have some vegan beef style crumbles. Several different brands offer these. They're all quite good. They're low in fat, high in protein, no cholesterol, and you can use all lentils or all veggie crumbles, but today I'm using a mixture of both. Heat your skillet to medium-high heat, and in a little bit of vegetable oil or water, saute your onions for a few minutes until they're nice and fragrant. Then add your bell peppers, saute till they start to soften. Now add in a few tablespoons of your tomato paste and a splash of water just to dissolve it and coat all of your veggies. Then add your diced tomatoes with some of the juice, teaspoon of each of your spices, a few tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce, and a little bit of coconut sugar. Go ahead and stir everything to combine and allow it to simmer until the extra liquid from the tomatoes cooks off. And lastly, add your protein and just warm it through. Now load up your hamburger bun of choice with your sloppy joe filling and add any other fixings you might like. I've got some sliced red onion and some arugula. And since this is quite a hearty meal, I like to balance it out with something fresh and light on the side like a salad or some steamed veggies. Meal number 2 is my favorite. We're gonna make eggplant parmesan. So start out with an Italian eggplant. I personally like to peel mine, but feel free to skip this step if you don't mind the skin. Then cut your eggplant into roughly half-inch slices and lie them out flat. You wanna spread a good amount of salt on each piece, both sides. And what the salt does is draw the bitterness out of the eggplant. So after about 10 minutes, give your eggplant a good rinse in water, pat them dry with a clean kitchen towel, and now we're gonna set up our breading station. So first, mix some flour with a bit of salt, pepper, and some nutritional yeast on a plate or in a shallow dish. And next, mix any unflavored, unsweetened, very important, plant milk with a spoonful of cornstarch. This is going to stand in for our egg as a binder. And finally, dump some breadcrumbs on a third dish, and I personally like to just buy the pre-seasoned kind. I'm also adding more nutritional yeast, which is standing in for Parmesan for that nice, savory, cheesy flavor. Now each eggplant slice gets dredged in flour, then dipped in your milk and coated with breadcrumbs. And I recommend using a fork or chopsticks for this, otherwise your fingers will also end up getting breaded. Trust me on this one, so save yourself the hassle there. I'm going to present 2 options for cooking your eggplant. Number 1, it's quick and dirty. All you do is heat a frying pan over medium heat. Add a few tablespoons of oil and fry your eggplant for about 5 minutes on each side or until they're nice and golden brown. Fair warning, eggplant absorbs a lot of oil, so you may need to add more between batches. This method is very fast and delicious, obviously, but for those of you who prefer a healthier option like myself, simply bake your eggplant in a 400-degree oven for about 45 minutes. I personally prefer this method because they still get nice and crunchy without the oil. It just takes a little bit longer. To complete this dish, I just take a pre-made marinara sauce, I spread it on the bottom of a baking dish, then lie my eggplant slices down and top with a little bit more marinara and some vegan mozzarella cheese. And I like just a little bit of sauce so they stay nice and crispy, but of course, add however much sauce and vegan cheese you like, and then pop it back in the oven for about 10 more minutes just to melt the cheese. This goes great over pasta if you want a more substantial dinner, or with some simple steamed veggies or salad for a lighter option. Final dish is a good old noodle stir-fry. Start out by cooking your noodles according to package directions. I'm using some brown rice spaghetti, but you can use any type of noodle your heart desires. Go ahead and cook and drain your noodles, set those aside. Now, I almost always added ginger, garlic, and green onions to my Asian-inspired dishes. And as for other veggies, I mix it up every time. So here I have some celery, some bell peppers, and carrots. I slice them all pretty thin and uniform in size so they cook at the same rate. And to sneak in our greens, we've got some broccoli and some shredded cabbage. I also have some tofu, but this is also great with vegan chicken strips if you can get your hands on some of those. Now this step is optional, but I like to brown my tofu in just a dry skillet to crisp it up a little bit. After I do this, I set it off to the side and throw in all of my veggies at once over medium-high. Add a splash of water, cover it up, and steam everything for 3 to 5 minutes. Now all that's left to do is toss in your noodles and your tofu and drizzle in your favorite stir-fry sauce. Mine happens to be the soyaki from Trader Joe's. It's amazing. And since there's already a lot of flavor from the onions and the garlic and the ginger, I actually don't add that much sauce. I keep the sugar and the sodium quite low, and I just keep stirring till everything's warmed through. And at the end, I decided to toss in some cooked edamame for a little bit of extra protein. And that's it. Super easy, satisfying meal with a nice variety of veggies and protein. That is all for today's video. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I'll see you all very soon.